This is GPS, the Global Public Square. Welcome to all of you in the United States and around the world. I'm Fareed Zakaria. Today on the show, with delicate negotiations underway over North Korea, a possible rupture over the Iran deal, the question is, can you have diplomacy without diplomats? The State Department is gutted, many ambassadorships lay unfilled, the UN Security Council is often deadlocked, and the president seems to prefer tweets over talk. I will be joined by Ronan Farrow, fresh off a Pulitzer Prize win, to talk about his important new book.
They are eviscerating the State Department rather than fixing it.
And the present and future of the grand old party. Is Paul Ryan's exit a sign of the end of the party of Ronald Reagan? I will examine the Republican takeover with two senior members of that party. Also, after almost 60 years, the era of Castro's ruling Cuba is about to come to an end. First Fidel, then his brother Raul have ruled the island nation since 1959. Will the new president bring any change in Cuba's relations with its neighbor 90 miles away? But first, here's my take. The most remarkable parts of James Comey's memoir are not about Donald Trump. We already knew most of the interesting revelations, and some of the others are gossip and color commentary. But in his discussion of the George W. Bush administration, Comey is far more revealing and highlights something crucial and hopeful about America, the role of lawyers and our legal culture. Many of the battles the Trump administration is having with the so-called deep state are actually reruns of battles from the Bush years. As Comey recounts in detail, after 9/11, the Bush administration put in place a surveillance program called Stellar Wind that Justice Department lawyers decided on review was illegal. In March 2004, Comey was Deputy Attorney General and filling in for his boss, John Ashcroft, who was ill. And Comey refused to renew the program. White House Chief of Staff Andy Card and White House counsel Alberto Gonzales decided to head to Ashcroft's hospital room to pressure him to sign the reauthorization documents over Comey's objections. On learning of this, Comey raced to the hospital and asked then FBI Director Robert Mueller to join him for moral support. It turned out Ashcroft didn't need any prodding. He turned Card and Gonzales away. Mueller, who arrived a few minutes afterwards, said to the bedridden Attorney General, who was technically his boss, "In every man's life there comes a time when the good Lord tests him. You passed your test tonight." Comey writes that he felt like crying. The law had held, he said. The pressure from the White House was intense, including a stunning exchange that Comey recounts between himself and the president himself, George W. Bush. Bush explained to his sub-cabinet appointee, "I say what the law is for the executive branch." Comey responded, "You do, sir, but only I can say what the Justice Department can certify as lawful, and we can't here. We have done our best. But as Martin Luther said, here I stand, I can do no other." What is striking about these episodes is not only that Comey and Mueller were subordinates who owed their jobs to Bush, but that they were Republicans. Both Comey and Mueller have consistently put their obligations to the law and the country above personal loyalty and partisan politics. This behavior may be the product of personal character, but it is also formed by legal training. The story is really not just about Mueller and Comey, but about the lawyers in various parts of the government who believe that it is crucial for the country that the government operate within the law, even if the president wishes otherwise. Recall that when Trump wanted to fire Mueller last June, White House counsel Don McGahn reportedly threatened to resign in protest. Just before leaving the Bush administration, Comey gave a speech to the National Security Agency in which he said, "It is the job of a good lawyer to say yes. It is as much the job of a good lawyer to say no. No is much, much harder. No must be spoken into a storm of crisis with loud voices all around, with lives hanging in the balance. No is often the undoing of a career." One of the oft-repeated criticisms of America is that it has too many lawyers. Maybe, but one of the country's great strengths is its legal culture. As I've written before, Alexis de Tocqueville worried that without a class of patriotic and selfless aristocrats, America could fall prey to demagogues and populists. But he took great comfort in the fact that, as he put it, America's aristocracy can be found at the bar or on the bench. Tocqueville saw that lawyers, with their sense of civic duty, created a form of public accountability that would help preserve the blessings of democracy without allowing its untrammeled vices. Comey's memoir reveals that America does indeed have a deep state. It is one of law and lawyers, and we should be deeply grateful for it. For more, go to cnn.com/Fareed and read my Washington Post column this week. And let's get started. On Monday, Ronan Farrow was awarded a Pulitzer Prize, arguably journalism's highest honor, at the ripe young age of 30. The honor was bestowed upon him, of course, for his groundbreaking reporting on Harvey Weinstein in The New Yorker. Farrow has always been an early bloomer.